Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I am your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event Marks YouTube channel. You can also check me out on Spotify, like I say every time. Let me know how you guys listen to the show, and then maybe I could promote it on there or something. I don't know. Let me know in the comments on Twitter at JG Pro Wrestling. I'm also on Instagram if you want to keep up with my running. And maybe sometimes I post like what I like to eat during the day. My Instagram's kind of boring. It did okay for a while, but it got hacked. Honestly, ever since it got hacked, I haven't been shooting to the top. I used to make cool reels and everything, but that's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about Forbidden Door, which we're going to jump into. We're also here to talk about Monday Night Raw, Cody Rhodes and Mommy jaw-jacking. And Mommy defending her Dom, so to speak, if you know what I'm saying. Cody says he's scared, that Dom's a scared little boy, that when Dom seems to have enough, he kind of just walks away, which is what happens here. Dom just walks away, more or less pouting. Crowd's getting upset, booing Dom. Dom looks like he's going to run back in after Cody eggs him on a bit, and then he just turns back around again. He says he wants to see if he's half the man his father was at Money in the Bank. And I think this is going to be a good match. The segment was whatever, but I think this match is going to have tons of heat. The American Nightmare versus the shitty little, like, stuck-up brat. And in this hot London crowd, I can see it. Dom ran away from the fight with Cody, but did not run away from the fight with Tozawa. I love Tozawa, a guy who started in Dragon Gate in Japan. Also teamed with Kevin Owens in PWG. That's a little fun fact. Survived all the cuts over the years. Came to WWE through the Cruiserweight Classic. That became 205 Live. Turned into a 24/7 legend. And Dom wins with the the Frog Splash after I'm done putting over Tozawa here after some distraction from Rhea. Cody did wrestle a member of Judgment Day, but he wrestled Damian Priest, delivering the bionic elbow, the pedigree. Cody's bringing out the hits. Rhea distracts the ref. Dom interferes. Priest with the South of Heaven. 1, 2, no. Cody keeps fighting. Cody pushes Priest into Dom. Hits the Cody Cutter. Crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Keeping Cody strong. Keeping Damian Priest strong, because he kind of ended up running into Dominic, so you can put the blame on Dominic, but then you also keep Dominic strong here because he hits a cheap shot after the match, kind of showing that he's just a chicken. He's a chicken. He turned his back on a fair fight at the beginning of the show, and here he is cheap shotting Cody at the end, so I think this was a great segment here. The other member of Judgment Day, Finn Balor, wrestled Carmelo Hayes from NXT after being introduced by Seth Rollins. Finn tries to attack Rollins during a promo. Carmelo helps Rollins out by taking away the chair, and here we get a match. This match was great. I gotta start watching NXT, guys. I watch too much wrestling as it is, but it looks like NXT is pretty good. Pretty good. They're heating things up. They want to sell NXT. They got the TV rights deal coming up. They want to hype it up as a third brand and get as much money as they can. I don't blame him here, and Carmelo Hayes is a good way to do that here. Carmelo Hayes hitting a shooting or like a springboard, throwing him backwards leg drop. I don't know what they call it, but it was sick. Flying all over the place. 1, 2, Finn kicks out. Springboard DDT. 1, 2. Finn kicks out again. Coup de grace. 1, 2, 3. Finn Balor gets the win. Judgment Day wasn't the only thing that happened on Raw. Riddle challenges Gunther at Money in the Bank. Imperium jumps him while accepting the challenge, going after the already hurt ankle of Riddle. Gunther and Zayn wrestle on the match. Wrestle on Raw. Kevin Owens on commentary. Giovanni Vinci shows up, crutches and all, coming down the ring. Gunther lands a crossbody 1-2. Zayn kicks out. Kevin Owens and Kaiser, who just got involved, go at it. Kevin Owens kind of takes him out. Gunther comes after Kevin Owens. Zayn dives on Gunther, gets him back in the route. Crowd becoming alive here. Exploder in the buckle. Zayn's feeling it. Vinci connects with the crutches to Zayn. Powerbomb by Gunther, 1, 2, 3. Gunther gets the win in shitty fashion. Kevin Owens jumps Imperium, but the numbers game's proven too much. So, Bro, the original Bro, comes back out, getting revenge from earlier in the night, takes the crutches, beats the man with his own crutches. That's one aspect of pro wrestling I always love. When you take the crutches from someone, so presumably someone's injured, you get what's helping them with that injury, and you beat them with it. That is just I don't know, a nuanced thing that happens in wrestling that is pretty insulting to do to somebody. Gets in the ring, uses the crutches against his teammates. Kevin Owens back on his feet, hits a stunner Da Vinci, and the good guys celebrate here. Really, I like these guys. Like, Raw is good. Raw is getting better. I mean, Imperium versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Riddle. I mean, there's not a bad combination of things you can do there. Judgment Day is really good. I mean, seeing Carmelo Hayes, that was kind of cool. I feel like this Raw was pretty solid. Money in the Bank women's match. All the participants out there. We see this segment every year. Trish running her mouth. Becky just hauls off and throws an elbow. All hell breaks loose. It ends with Becky climbing the ladder, getting the Money in the Bank. But I guess, as cliche as this segment is, when you're flipping through the channels, you know what Money in the Bank is at this point. It's been around for like over 10 years. Like 15 maybe, I'm thinking. Yeah, at least 15. You haven't watched wrestling in a while. You're, oh, Money in the Bank. Oh, Trish Stratus. Oh, Becky Lynch. Oh, okay, this Saturday. You kind of get caught up within 30 seconds, and that's kind of what this segment's here for. This segment is not here for people that watch week to week or people that do reviews like me. It's here for the person who's flipping the channels and wants to get caught up in like 2 seconds, and that's exactly what this segment did. Ronda Rousey wrestled Raquel Rodriguez. Ankle lock applied. Baszler saves Ronda from a dive. Lives, flies off the steps onto Baszler. While that's happening, 1, 2, 3, Ronda steals one, gets the hell out of Dodge. Ronda's gotten better here. I'll eat my words. She is good. Ronda Rousey's a good pro wrestler in 2023. Best wrestler out of these four, I'll say. Ricochet versus Nakamura. Read out there. Why is this happening? How did this start between these three? I forget, but if these three are wrestling, I'm watching every time. Ref sends Bronson to the back. The XLOG looking like a guy from The Sopranos or something, flipping the steps, pissed off that he has to get sent to the back. Sliced bread from Ricochet. Shooting star. 1, 2, 3. Ricochet gets the victory over Nakamura. Ciampa versus The Miz. Miz attacks Ciampa before the bell. Crowd chanting tiny balls. Hilarious, this won't go away. And Miz getting a little heat back after losing for like months now on Raw. Him and Ciampa, that'll work well. I mean, Ciampa has the cred from his NXT days. Miz has like the cred from his like movies. So I think this is the perfect dynamic style to make fights. And they do have a little bit of history here. I mean, last year, this time Ciampa was his lackey. Now he's back, wanting to be the main character. This is a good little feud here as well. I feel like WWE is firing on all cylinders. And speaking of firing on all cylinders, how fucking good was Forbidden Door? Man, Renee and RJ City kicking things off. They got good energy together. Like, if I had them, instead of doing all these matches on 0 Hour that really just kind of hype the crowd up to later be worn out, I would have these guys do like a red carpet thing. Have the AEW stars show up dressed, look nice, pull up in nice cars, make them feel like stars, look like stars. Have people like RJ City and Renee Paquette talk about their outfits, and then you can maybe get like fashion shows like E or something like that, or like the YouTubers who talk about fashion. I don't know these people, but I know they exist. You can get them to talk about AEW, and maybe more people could watch. Kind of like do a red carpet thing to get more viewers on, because right now 0 Hour, first of all, like, is that another Elton John reference? How many Elton John references can one wrestling company have? They got the Collision song, and now they got 0 Hour, 9 a.m. and it's gonna be high as a kite by then. Forgive me for that. I had to do it. I'm a fan of Elton John. I'm a fan. But I think that this 0 hour is too much. 4 matches at the beginning of the show really killed the crowd at the end. Also, for some reason, the match that they promoted, Adam Cole versus Tom Lawler, didn't take place. You got some throwaway matches here. There was a Lily doll in the crowd, but let's jump into it. Let's rank all these matches, including the matches from 0 hour, from worst to first. We're going all the way down. All the way down. Let me scroll down here. 13 big matches here, I think. And the worst of them was United Empire versus LIJ. This was just a New Japan 6-man tag. All these wrestlers wrestle in New Japan. This is supposed to be a Forbidden Door show. 4th match on a pre-show. This is a packed pre-show. WrestleMania 32. Eat your heart out on this pre-show. Why could these matches not just be on Rampage to hype up the idea that New Japan talent is going to be on, Forbidden Door or something like that? This could have been on Rampage is what I'm saying. Hiromu is like the Darby Allin in New Japan. I can't believe they couldn't find him a place on this card. He's like got that skater, emo kid vibe for like the Tokyo audience, it seems. Shingo is the man, hits the Made in Japan to TJP. 1, 2, 3 LIJ win. Number 12, Billy Starks versus Athena. This match is the match that could have been on the pre-show. Like, I don't know why they didn't just do this match on the pre-show, and maybe that's it. Solid match on a great show. ROH Rampage. I guess that's where the Forbidden Door is open here. All Athena in the early going. Super kick in midair by Billy Starks. Death Valley Driver. But then Athena kind of rope-a-dopes the young Starks into diving on the apron for a senton. She moves out the way. 1, 2, 3. Athena gets the victory here. And then this one. I mean, I like both these guys, but in a show with all these matches, Stu Grayson versus LP, El Phantasmo. El Phantasmo is athletic as fuck. I almost think he would be better in AEW than New Japan. Stu kind of finding his footing in Ring of Honor after leaving the Dark Order. 450 from Stu. 1, 2. LP kicks out. DDT pile driver. 1, 2, 3. El Phantasmo gets the victory here. Number 10. Chaos and Desperado versus the Mogul Embassy. I went from hating that they call best friends Chaos, and then I ironically started snickering at it, and now I love it. If they are going to call them Chaos, they should have gotten another Chaos member though. El Desperado isn't a Chaos member, so why don't you just say Chaos versus the Mogul Embassy? That would be like a New Japan faction versus an AEW faction, which is kind of the point of this show. But this you just had a hodgepodge of just a 4-way tag match. You could have just not done this match at all and kept that crowd hot for going into the body of the main show. Not that the crowd wasn't hot, but I mean that Danielson Okada match, you could see them wanting to care. They were on their feet and everything, but they weren't really as hot as they could have been. I think maybe I'm nitpicking here, but I do think that Desperado, was the right man to have on this show, but maybe not in this match. The good guys are diving on the Embassy. Embassy cuts the ring in half, in trouble. Lots of smooth tags here from the Embassy. That's why I ranked this match so high here, because in the middle of the match when they're tagging in and out, doing some double teams, triple teams, the ref doesn't know what's going on, but it's smooth like butter, baby. They're taking it to Trent. Hot tag to Desperado. Cage accidentally takes out Swerve. Strong 0 from the best friends. 1, 2, no. Diving foot stomp from Swerve. 1, 2, 3. Mogul Embassy gets the victory here. And it pains me to put this match here on the bottom like I am going to do right here. But I got to do it. Sting, Darby, Naito versus Jericho, Suzuki, and Guevara here. First of all, this match was the death sentence in between Will Ospreay and Omega versus Okada and Danielson. I would have put this match somewhere earlier on in the show and just had the 2 big main event matches, Ospreay and Omega going right into Danielson and Okada. I mean, this crowd here is,
a lot of New Japan fans, and they know about these New Japan epic shows where you do the big tag matches early, and then you lead into these big epic matches later on. But speaking of, they did get the death spot, but they didn't help themselves here. There's a 40-year age gap. There's 2 languages involved, and this match was a little clunky here. Sting, new face paint, looks pretty sick. Sting and Suzuki locking horns was kind of cool, but Suzuki quickly tags out. Jericho comes in, and they both attack Sting. I thought that was a little sly, little heel move there. Jericho goes for the Stinger splash, no one home. Scorpion Deathlock, and then Guevara breaks the Scorpion Deathlock up with a cutter. And, these young guys are flying around, landing on their heads, but then they slam Sting on his head, and he looked like he was torn up a bit. Of course, the guy's got neck problems. We thought he was retired for a moment there, and he looked shooken up. You see Guevara kind of, checking on him. Maybe this is just like how, the past generations say that you can't sell anymore. Hopefully he's just selling here, but the legend looked winded, looked rocked, looked shooken up from that point forward, and it didn't help that Jericho set up a table. Guevara goes for a 630, but Sting kind of turns to his side here. Looks like he was trying to get away, but didn't move quick enough, and you could tell by the way that Sting got back in the ring right after that they had planned for Guevara to be taken out, and Sting kind of fighting back, because Sammy really wasn't involved too much in the rest of the match where Sting was. So I think Sting fucked up here and had to get out of the way. It pains me to say, but yeah, I think the older guy kind of couldn't move with the younger guy, and they were kind of off here. Maybe it was Sammy, maybe it was Sting, I don't know. Naito gets the win, 1-2-3 for his team. Yeah, and I guess that was the worst match on the main show, unfortunately. Number 8. Willow Nightingale versus Toni Storm here. Outcast at ringside. AEW champ versus New Japan Strong champ. Saraya gets involved. Willow fires back. Death Valley Driver City. Ref catches the Outcast. Try to slide the spray paint bottle to Toni Storm. Sends them to the back. Moonsault, no one home. Hits the running hip attack. DDT 1-2. Willow kicks out. Toni bleeding. Gouges at the eyes of Willow. Storm 0. 1-2-3. Champ retains. Britt Baker watching at ringside, or watching from the back. That was the only presence we saw of Britt. This whole show was just kind of watching from the back. Number 7, the AEW Championship match. Sonata versus Jungle Boy. Hook and Dookie in their respective corners. Red Shoes more over than these two, getting chance as the bell sounds. Snare trap in the early going. Jungle Boy dives. Sonata goes for the Paradise Lock. Jungle Boy goes for the Paradise Lock. Sonata applies the Paradise Lock finally. This move is very Looney Tunesy. I can't believe how long this move has lasted in a promotion like New Japan, away from, like Naito, or not Naito, but Yano and everything. A double underhook powerbomb from Jungle Boy, 1-2, no. Sonata jumps up and hits a suplex. Jack locks in the skull in on Sonata. But going back to the Looney Tunes move, the Paradise Lock, Taz hated this move. He's like, this move has never been applied to me, and there's a reason for that. I thought that was kind of funny. But now back into it. Jack locks in the skull in on Sonata. Sonata struggling, gets to the ropes. TKO 1-2. Jungle Boy kicks out. Nasty looking Poison Rana. Jack counters the skull in with a roll up 1-2. Sonata kicks out again. Poison Rana from Sonata. Shining Wizard. Boom. 1-2. Jungle Boy kicks out. Moonsault. 1-2-3. Sonata retains the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. But the story of the match here, Sonata leaves, takes his belt and goes back to Japan. Hook here helping Jungle Boy to the back, and Jungle Boy attacks Hook. Why, Jungle Boy? Why? So many unanswered questions here. Mainly, is Hook talented enough to be a part of a singles feud that isn't just him running down somebody? So many unanswered questions. But from what I understand, the Gen Z-ers love Jungle Hook, so you still get both of them on your screen, but you get them feuding with each other to hopefully push Jungle Boy, maybe be the Gen Z champion over Hook, and then take on all the millennials and boomers out there. Maybe that's what they're shooting for. I don't know. But I do know that they say that Gen Z people love Gen Z people. You know, that generation, the younger generation, the 18 from the key demo, 18 to 49 demo, love these two. So get them in the ring together, get them feuding. Maybe that's something that these kids can sink their teeth into. I'm a holdout hope that it's good, but I don't think it'll be very good. Number 6, MJF versus Tanahashi. I remember our buddy Troy from the Main Event Marks, my buddy Troy from the Main Event Marks, compared Tanahashi to Cena. And people got mad. Started a big argument a few years ago. You know, at certain points in both their careers, that could be considered maybe a lazy comparison. I think it was a good comparison throughout their whole tenure. But a lazy comparison at times, and that's what people might have been trying to bring up, but they were, you know, of course, being very rude about it. But goddamn, did this comparison hold true here? I mean, look back at WrestleMania, Cena versus Theory. It was booked almost exactly the same as this match in Forbidden Door. MJF with the New Japan is an indie on a Flair-style robe. That's just pro wrestling right there, baby. Abdominal stretch from MJF, using the ropes as leverage and getting caught by the ref. Tanahashi goes to the top. MJF meets him up there, still able to hit the crossbody. MJF goes up and does the Flair bump, goes for a shoulder breaker, ends up hurting his own knee. Cloverleaf applied by the Ace. Sling Blade goes up with a high fly flow. MJF gets his knees up. Both men down. MJF gets the belt. Ref takes the belt. Ace rolls up the champ but couldn't get the win since the ref was putting the belt back. God damn it, MJF. Tanahashi gets in the ref's face and it's like, come on, man. What the fuck? You're supposed to be a ref. You're not supposed to be a belt putter backer. Count the pin. MJF pushes Tanahashi into the ref. Ref bump. Hits Tanahashi with his Dynamite Diamond ring that he's won for 4 years in a row. 1, 2, 3. MJF gets the victory in true asshole fashion. So like that's kind of what happened with Cena. Like Cena, Theory did some bullshit things in a shorter match, got the victory. MJF did some bullshit things in a shorter match, got the victory here. Sometimes I think about that argument. And I think about finding those people that were arguing with Troy that day and arguing again, but I don't think it's worth it. But I will bring it up on a podcast when no one can dispute me because I'm the only one with the microphone. Number 5, CM Punk versus Kojima. Kojima wrestles a lot for Noah nowadays, but is a big enough name to wrestle Punk in the first round of the Owen Hart tournament. Would have been cool if it was Kenta, but it's not Kenta. Booze start before Punk's music hits. But then when he comes out, he gets like a face pop. And then it kind of turns to booze. Dueling chants for Punk at the early going. So speaking of Cena, he's getting the Cena treatment here. Split crowd here. They're all acknowledging him, so to speak, if you want to put it that way. But when the bell rings, there's a pec popping party. Kojima popping his pecs. Punk popping his pecs. Where's Lex Luger when you need him? Punk dropping the leg and holding his ear like Hogan, showing Toronto that he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy, being real sarcastic. And then even mocking Tenzan, Kojima's tag partner. Kojima hits the elbow right on Punk's dick and balls in front of the ref. Come on, man. Ding, ding, ding. He hit him in the ding, ding. That's a DQ, brother. Punk hits the elbow in the chest, a traditional landing spot. GTS 1, 2, 3. Punk wins and advances in the Owen Hart tournament. 5 and 6 here are kind of interchangeable here, but I do feel like number 4 is, that's when the matches really start, heating up for me as far as this pay-per-view. This was a great show. Kingston Ishii, Hung Bucks versus Blackpool Combat Club, Shota and Takeshita. The Elite don't get any boos coming out, but really don't get as big of a pop as Punk did either. New Blackpool song. Claudio tags out when he sees that Kingston is in there. Mox and Kingston, people are eating this shit up. They're getting on their feet. This match was insane. Chop battle from Mox and Kingston as everyone just starts brawling around the ringside. Claudio breaks it up, hitting the cheap shot uppercut after he tags out, getting booed. Takeshita lays out Ishii. Ishii suplex Claudio. Takeshita and Umino hit a slick little double team. Huge pop from Hangman getting tagged in. Cowboy shit chants fill the Toronto air. Bucks hold Takeshita as Hangman hits the shooting star off the apron. Takeshita dodges the BTE trigger. The German suplexes both Young Bucks at the same damn time. That was crazy. Blackpool Combat Club in control. Claudio hits the swing. Nick stops Yuta from getting launched into the cross body that Claudio does. I love that spot. I love this little counter here. Wish it was done a little slicker, but that's being real nitpicky. Shooting or super kick to Shota, 1-2. No. Super kick party. All hell breaks loose. Brainbuster by Ishii. 1, 2, 3. Ishii, Kingston, and the Hung Bucks get the victory. And number 3, making the podium. I can't believe it. I might have overhyped this match a little too much. Danielson versus Okada. If Danielson did not get injured, this match would maybe be number 1. But with an injury, it still made the podium. This is awesome chance before they even touch. Danielson goes after the arm. Cattle mutilation. Rolls him over while still kind of applying the hold. That was slick. 1, 2. No. Lands some kicks to Okada. Okada getting pissed. Hits a crossbody over the barricade. Air raid neck breaker from Okada. That was kind of sick. Missile drop kick from Danielson. Danielson takes it to Okada. Locks in the crossface. Okada gets to the ropes. Dive from Okada again. Danielson slips out of an like a kind of a move here. Danielson then lands it, or Danielson slips out of a Rainmaker. Danielson lands the knee on the outside. Okada lands a tombstone on the top of the ramp. Elbow off the top. Danielson convulsing here at one point. Ref looks concerned. Sends in the medical staff. But I think that this ref needs to brush up on his Terry Funk here. It kind of reminded me of how Terry Funk used to sell, especially in like ECW or WCW 2000, where he just kind of shakes. I think, Funk, popular in Japan. I think Danielson was kind of channeling, another Gaijin talent that was popular in Japan here with these convulses. I don't know. Okada just picks him up after, saying like, I have no remorse that this man is maybe seizing out in front of me. I'm trying to win this fucking match and see who's best in the world. Danielson, comes to, I guess, and stays on the arm, but keeping his arm close to his body, even doing the yes chance with one arm at one point. But Psycho knee, 1-2. Okada kicks out. Rainmaker, 1-2. Danielson kicks out, but he maintains wrist control, hits a lariat, hits another lariat. Danielson dodges the Rainmaker. Okada dodges the knee, dodges the Rainmaker again. But as he dodges it, he brings him down into a crossface. Danielson goes after the other arm, brings the other arm back, and Okada forced to tap out. Of course, if Danielson didn't have that hurt arm, I feel like we would have hit that second gear or that third gear in this match. But since that didn't take place, it's ranked number 3. I'm sorry. If you're listening, Okada, if you're listening, Danielson, you had to be number 3 tonight. Because I'll tell you what happened. My 4 pillars. I know that last, Double or Nothing, they had a 4 pillars match or whatever. But I would say that these would be my 4 pillars if I was running AEW. If I had the book. Cassidy versus Garcia versus Shibata versus Zack Sabre Jr. All 3 out of these 4 men have titles. What title was on the line? I know it. What was it? It's called something like the International Championship, the All Atlantic Championship, whatever they want to call it. This match was my sleeper pick, and it did not disappoint. Garcia gets like pinned by Cassidy really early on in this match, and he kicks out. And when he kicks out, he just launches Cassidy into
like a dive. Like Cassidy uses the momentum of a kick out to like getting launched into a dive. I thought that was pretty cool because you assume that, you know, you wouldn't be able to pin Garcia that early on into the match. So he might have been, you know, maybe doing that on purpose. Zack goes after Shibata's neck again and then goes after the champ. Shibata bitch slaps Garcia as he's chopping Zack Sabre Jr. So he's bitch slapping Garcia, chopping Zack. Garcia responds with a dance. He starts dancing. Stereo abdominal stretches here while getting into a strike battle. So two other guys in abdominal stretches while they're just teeing off on each other. This was pretty cool. And their opponents reverse it into rear naked chokes, into sleepers, and they still are teeing off on each other while being put into sleepers. I love that part of the match. Stun dog, DDT, 1-2. Garcia kicks out, all four men down. Garcia uses a title. I guess the pure title, not his title. 1-2. I'm not into the no DQ on a 4-way match in AEW, but it happened here. Crowd is eating this shit up. Huge elbow from Shibata. Backbreaker, 1-2. Shibata kicks out. Zack counters the stun dog, tying up the champion here. Zack goes after Shibata, 1-2. Garcia breaks it up. Pile driver from Garcia. PK from Shibata to Garcia. Cassidy throws out Shibata and pins Garcia. Kind of steals the victory here. I think I called this exactly what was going to happen here. And then after the match, Garcia gets the hell out of there. But the other three stand there with their respective titles, looking at each other. Shibata with the ROH Pure title, Zack Sabre Jr. with the IWGP Television title, and Cassidy, of course, retaining the international title or whatever they call it. This match was great. Just like I said with Bronson Reed, Nakamura, and Ricochet, any combination of these four, you'll have me sold for a whole year probably. And with 3 titles and what is it, like 2.5 promotions involved, and all these guys being able to work indies, the sky's the fucking limit here. Let's go. I'm ready for it. And I do say that 4-way was better than Danielson Okada. After a week of defending Okada, I made a tweet saying Okada was better than The Rock, and it felt like Twitter blew up at me. Some people were saying, of course. Like, you typing that is ridiculous. Of course Okada is better than The Rock, which I love that response. A lot of people were agreeing with me. Other people were saying I was crazy, and we had some fun conversation there. But, of course, I'm leaving out the number 1 match of the whole show, arguably the match of the year. I feel like after this match, it's not what is the match of the year. It's which Ospreay Omega match do you consider the match of the year? Omega gets chance as the bell rings. Compared to Punk and the rest of the Elite, Omega gets the W for who got the best crowd reaction during the entrance. You know, a mixed crowd reaction is respectable. You can't argue that a guy's not a big deal if he gets that mixed reaction, that Cena treatment. But for everyone in your home country to cheer you on in what, you know, is most likely going to be the most remembered match of the whole show, I mean, boom, that's what you want. You hear Road Warrior pops. This was a Road Warrior pop. Ospreay comes out with armed guards. I think they kind of stole this from Cody Rhodes at the Supercard of Honor versus Omega here. Maybe I was at attendance on that show. I feel like that was what was going to happen in here. Omega goes for a one-winged angel, gets cut off. Ospreay goes for an Os cutter, gets cut off. You can't escape. 1-2, no. Ospreay takes a powder on the outside. Callis stops Omega from diving, gets sent to the back early. Ospreay in control. Os cutter off the apron. Ospreay slams Kenny into the announcer's desk, busts Kenny open, bleeding all over the place. Still a wanker chance from this Canadian crowd. Omega is down but not out. Ospreay is licking Kenny's blood off his bicep. Holy shit, you sick fuck, Ospreay. And he says he knows he's a sick fuck. And I mean, yeah, you're licking another man's blood off your bicep. You can't get much more pro wrestling than that. What's more pro wrestling? MJF with the New Japan as an indie fed on the back of a flare robe, or Will Ospreay licking another man's blood off of his bicep? I mean, Twitter poll going out tomorrow. Let's see what happens here. discus lariat, going for the V trigger, lands it. Kids in the front row start jaw-jacking with Ospreay. Ospreay jaw-jacking with them, gets the Canadian flag and wipes his ass with it. Kenny starts choking him with that same Canadian flag, throwing him over the top rope, choking him with it like he was being hung. V-trigger on the outside. Omega starts slamming Ospreay's hand into the steps, busts him open on the steps, DDT on the steps, German from Ospreay, V-trigger from Omega, Spanish fly from Ospreay, 1-2, no. Ospreay locks in a sharpshooter in Canada after wiping his ass with the flag, gets booed, and then locks in a crossface. A little wild thing to do here. You know, obviously calling back to Chris Benoit, a famous Canadian who even more famously killed his family. What context here? I mean, goddamn, Ospreay, I would not have pulled that one out, but you pulled it out. You also got hit with a Snapdragon from Omega. Pile driver, 1-2. Ospreay kicks out. Ospreay goes for a Skywalker press to the floor. Backbreaker, elbow off the top. Omega dodges a hidden blade. Liger bomb from Ospreay, 1-2. Omega kicks out. You can feel the pace picking up. You can hear my excitement. And goddamn, you could feel the excitement in Toronto. Oscutter, 1-2. No. Callis comes back out. After he got kicked out, what the fuck are you doing out there, man? Ends up giving Ospreay a screwdriver. Omega picks him up for the one-winged angel. Ospreay picks up that screwdriver and jabs it into the head of fucking Omega. Omega, you had to see that shit coming, man. You got hit with the screwdriver. Hangman Page got hit with the screwdriver. And here you are getting screwed in Canada. Call you Bret Hart, Omega. You got hit with the damn screwdriver to the top of the dome. 1-2. Omega kicks out. Ospreay hits the one-winged angel. 1 count kick out. Crowd erupts. Strike battle. Brainbuster by Omega. 1-2. Ospreay kicks out. V-trigger. Ospreay counters. Stormbreaker. Omega counters. Pile driver 91. 1-2. Omega kicks out. Ospreay takes the elbow pad off. Hits the hidden blade. Hits the Stormbreaker. 1-2-3. Ospreay wins. God damn. The new IWGP champion is Will Ospreay. What a match. Oh, man, I got to go back and watch the match from the Tokyo Dome, but I will have to say that this match was probably my match of the year. During the press conference, they asked what everyone was thinking. Are you going to run it back at Wembley? And you got to fucking run it back at Wembley. You did the match in the Tokyo Dome. You did the match in front of the hot crowd in Toronto, Kenny Omega's home country. Now bring it to Omega's home country. Have some weird beef between Canada and the UK involving this feud, but both these guys are are popular in Japan. Why not do this, man? This is awesome. And I do have to say that Ospreay holding the IWGP United States Champion is the best way to do this. Much like Nakamura presented the Intercontinental title in New Japan, I feel like Ospreay did something with the United States Championship in New Japan that no one could do other than him. Not Tanahashi, not Omega, but Ospreay made it a big deal. Made it a big enough deal for it to be a main event title. And I remember a few years ago when they put that title on Omega, Omega didn't want the title. You know, it got passed around in the undercard. Juice Robinson had it for a little bit. I kind of don't really remember what happened with the thing. Cody, Mox, they kind of just were giving it to people that were famous in America. But then Ospreay had it, and he made it his own. He made it his title. He made it a title worth fighting for in the main event. So I think that it's kind of cool that it's back on him, honestly. Man, was this match awesome. It sucks that, Sting, something happened with Sting and Guevara with their timing and everything. Danielson's arm is broken. But this match right here delivered. This was a great fucking match. It feels like WWE's heating up. I'll be giving you my predictions for Money in the Bank next episode, along with a Dynamite review. And then fuck it, man. Saturday looks crazy too. You got Money in the Bank, followed by Collision. I mean, sign me up. Where do I sign? I'm excited. You get to see the UK crowd before Wembley. What's going to happen? Is the UK crowd going to be just as hot as it usually is? Probably. Fly high, I'm out.